Welcome to This Day. It is Monday, January 9th. I'm your host, Bree Cox-Kennedy. I hope everyone had a great weekend, got yourself outside, enjoyed the last bit of our warm weather before we head on into a cool patch this week. But first, folks, we want to let you know what's on today's show. Did you know that hearing loss could contribute to loneliness? Well, I've got Stuart Spencer on the show here with me today. He's going to be telling us about how that can be prevented with advanced ear care. And then later in the show, I've got author Victoria Van Ransom, who wrote a beautiful book about her life, The Captain's Cook. And she will be signing, autographing books February 14th at Barnes & Noble. So we want to tell you all about that exciting day. But first, folks, got to keep you informed. This is an important one. Avoid duplicate charges when paying online. This has happened to a few of you out there. When making credit or debit card payments through the resident portal, please allow up to 4 business days for the payment to post to your account. Do not submit another payment during that time, as it will result in duplicate charges, and refunds will actually take up to 7 business days to process. If an invoice still appears unpaid after 4 business days, you can email ar@vmsinc.org before making another payment. Payments made by check through the mail can take up to 10 business days to post. As always, if you need more information, please visit the Village News on the Laguna Woods Village website. Now, about that weather I was telling you about. You can see from last week how we have just really taken a nosedive with our temperatures, ending up at a high today of 65, mostly cloudy skies, low of 51. As we drop down tomorrow, even colder, 59, doesn't even look like we're going to break 60. But then hopefully by Wednesday, things do start turning around a little bit, getting a little bit warmer incrementally as we reach the weekend, and Friday, high of 71. Lows stay in the high 40s, so you'll need a jacket for mornings and evening. Sunrise this morning was at 6:40 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:29 p.m. There's that beautiful blue sky and warm temperatures I was loving last week. This is a shot from Dana Point by our very own Cole Young. Thank you, Cole, for submitting that photo. If you'd like to send us yours, we'd love to share them. Please email those to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Of course, please send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and in that horizontal format, please. Just one meeting to tell you about before we head on over to the break, and when we come back, Advanced Ear Care will be with me.
If you're exhausted after conversations, it might not be you. It might be the strain of trying to hear. Today's AI-based hearing devices can do real-time situational analysis, helping reduce background noise so you can follow speech without working so hard, often leaving you feeling more relaxed and engaged. Try Audibel Eris. All insurances are accepted, and take advantage of our field trial that lets you test the environment where it matters the most, your daily life. Call us today, and remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. What do insurance, isolation, and loneliness have to do with hearing loss? Well, here to connect the dots for us, we've got Stuart Spencer from Advanced Ear Care with us.
Yeah, thank you, Bree.
Hello.
Nice to be here.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Kind of a sad topic, but you're going to shed some light on how you can make everything all better.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of times we come on, talk about technology, all the advances in AI, and how sound is processed electronically and stimulating the brain, But the impact we see is really pulling people out of this isolation and loneliness, and it's really been tragic to see people over the last 40 years that we've seen be stuck in that just because they don't get the sound from here to here, where they can really hear the conversations, interact with people in groups. We see people, always, complaining about the retirement home dining room, It's like a restaurant to them, every night, every day, they're in there in those environments and they're just isolated, they're just, they don't sit with anybody because people get frustrated with them.
Right.
And then they feel lonely, and so they don't interact. And it goes beyond that, it goes to their social activities and their social life, and they just feel kind of left out. And so, that's the issue we resolve, is, we pull them back into those conversations, stimulate their hearing through the use of these amazing devices we have now that are more like, hearing computers than they are the old-fashioned hearing aids. And so, it's, it gives them brain power. When we can stimulate the brain that way, they can start to interact, start to hear the sounds they want to hear, and be much more engaged in their environments.
It reminds me of some of those video clips where a baby has never heard before,
Right.
and all of a sudden they're
Right.
able to hear, and that little baby just comes alive.
Yeah.
So it's no different in our later years as that is declining,
Yeah.
but I think for the most part, people just don't want to admit.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well,
that that's slowly declining.
That's it. That's some of it, but some of it is they just don't know.
Right.
Because that's normal hearing to them. It's been so gradual,
Right.
and it's so invisible, and it's so painless. They just slide into that, and they think that's normal hearing. And then we stimulate that. We show them exactly how much better. They're like, oh my gosh. And you can always see it in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They just like light up.
Right.
It's like, wow, that's
Exactly.
better. And so, that's the fun part of our business, is
Right.
pulling people back into the
I would
environments they like
imagine.
to.
So when you do have family members that are frustrated with parents or aunt and uncles or whatever,
Yeah.
and they keep having to repeat themselves over and over again, but the person thinks that they hear just fine. How do you bridge that gap from families frustrated to getting that person in your office?
Yeah, really, I think with just a lot of true, honest conversation, just saying, Dad, you're not hearing as well, as you need to be. You're missing this, you're missing this. I'm repeating all the time. The TV's up way too loud, and
That's another signal, isn't it?
And, we just really need to get it checked. That's all. And if it's fine, it's fine.
Right.
That's okay too.
Right.
But if not, we should see what the alternatives are. And when they're in those kind of environments, we show them, how much better they can hear, and they get it right away. Finally, that whole isolation, that whole denial, is kind of broken. And it's really not so much about the stigmatism as it is the relief and the impact it has on their life.
And so they'll never go back, right?
Right, yeah, that's right. Once they know the difference, it's like, oh my gosh, I should have done this a long time ago.
But like you said, it's so gradual, they probably don't even know that it's declining.
Right.
And everything else just needs to amplify.
You're right, around them, yeah.
Around them.
It's corrected everywhere else, right? The radio goes up, the TV goes up, the people repeat, all
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
And people find themselves yelling, and
That's right.
it's just going nowhere fast.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And the other thing too, Stuart, I think we want to touch on is a lot of people don't understand or realize that these costs could be covered by insurance.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's
because
amazing.
Because that's a complicated subject matter in and of itself.
It is. And Bree, some insurance companies even provide hearing aids at no charge to people, and they're just not aware of it. Really? Other people just, it's a complicated thing to dive into, but we do it for the people. If they just give us their insurance information, we have a whole team of insurance specialists that call, find out their copays, find out their deductibles, look into their Plan B, hearing aid benefits, and really drill down into all that detail. And we have a lot of different options for people that fit into those different programs that are extremely successful.
Really?
Yes.
How long does that whole process take? Because it kind of seems like it might be a little bit overwhelming to go through that. So is it just
really
a matter
not,
of a phone call or two?
Yeah, that's it. All they have to do is call us, make an appointment. We'll ask them for their information. We have a form we can send them. They just take a picture of the front and back of their insurance card and send it to us. It just takes a day or so. We find it out. Then when they come in, at the end of the appointment, we know exactly, what their benefits are, and we can explain all their options.
And then when they do come in, can they leave that day with a hearing aid?
Yes.
So it doesn't have to take more time to...
Not at all. It just takes about an hour.
Really?
Test their hearing, show them the difference. We test them without their hearing aids, and then with hearing aids, show them the improvement. Many times people go from like 32% to like 92%. I mean, it's like, wow. It's a big deal. It's a life-changing thing.
Exactly.
It's stimulating that brain. We get more information to the brain. The brain does wonderful things with it.
Right.
And so they can leave that day and they'll hear better forever.
And they can re-engage in conversations with their family and friends. And
yes.
I would
just
imagine...
feel so much more comfortable, because what happens if you're not hearing, you're just always straining.
Yes.
It's just a real cognitive load, especially after a large, social situation, a big, family gathering, a wedding, those type of things. People are just trying so hard to hear, that it's just not there. They feel fatigued.
Are they hearing the surrounding sounds more than the voice? In other words, music or loud noises?
Right. And that's what, these new, artificial intelligence hearing aids do, is they look at those sounds, something ridiculous, like 20,000 times a second. With this new Eris product we have, and even when you move your head, it changes the way that the hearing aids are focusing on sound and background noise, and shifts that signal to noise ratio, so you drop that noise and you can hear the speech more clearly.
Right, right.
Pretty amazing.
Very amazing.
Yeah,
very
it has
amazing.
a big impact on people's lives.
I know that this is a massive technological advancement, but do you see anything new coming for this year, for 26?
You know what, we're always getting better. This team we have with AI, you don't just start using AI technology. We've done that research and done that type of processing for the last 15 years. So we're way ahead of the game with this Eris Audibel product, and it's really making an impact. People that are even wearing good hearing aids come and wear these, they go, oh my gosh. Instantly they hear the difference in the clarity. It's just been fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the best thing we've ever had, and they will get better.
I'm surprised that there's even room to get better. I suppose there always is. But...
Yeah, I tell you, I would have never dreamed we'd have this kind of availability of being able to manipulate somebody's hearing like this, like we do today. Even 10 years ago, I couldn't fathom the improvements we can give people.
Really?
Yeah, it's really been fun.
And this is all programmed with an app on the phone, right?
Well, it's programmed through our computers. We give people access, on their phones to make certain changes, that they may want to make. But honestly, Bree, people are just putting these hearing aids on, wearing and hearing better, and all you have to do, is just put these on, and that's just that way.
I have no idea that's even there.
Yeah, and these are so automatic, there isn't a lot of adjustment or fiddling with your phone. Now
but in terms of updates,
yep.
So that they don't have to get a new pair every
Right.
couple of years, but you just update the software.
So it's the firmware in the hearing aid that we update, but that's exactly right. So when they come out with new algorithms, we just upload the algorithms into the present hearing aid they're wearing, and they just get that enhancement as the time goes on. And it's pretty amazing.
That's fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's very powerful.
Yeah. Now, do they do the same thing for babies, for children?
So that's a little different. That's a pediatric thing. It depends on if they're hearing aids or if they're cochlear implants. That's a whole different world.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting. It's a very exciting world. And
yes, we're able to help people better than others. So all they have to do is just make a small decision, to come in and have it checked, or to see, if the hearing aid that they're presently wearing is doing what it should be for them, or if there is something better. And then we can explore those, insurance alternatives and see exactly, what really is best suited for them.
Well, how do they come see you?
All they have to do is give us a call at 354-0040.
Where's your office located?
Right here in the corner of Moulton and El Toro, right next to Aldi's in that shopping center. So we're right around the corner. All the buses go there, we're easy to find, advanced ear care. So
Fantastic.
Give us a call.
Yes, absolutely. Nothing to lose, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Nothing to lose, except for gaining your hearing back.
Yeah.
Stuart, always such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Bree. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
If you believe the journey is the destination, you'll love exploring in the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 33 miles per gallon, an 11.6-inch high-resolution touchscreen, plus a 180 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine. Love is out there. Find it in a Crosstrek.
Come to Frank's Irvine Subaru and celebrate the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Complimentary maintenance included on all new Subarus.
Scotch and soda.
Theater Guild presents Romance in the Woods, featuring the jazz stylings of Moki Lund and her ensemble. February 19th at Clubhouse 5. Tickets $20 in advance includes sparkling wine or cider and a delicious dessert from Chopin Bakery. Seating is limited. Tickets at theaterguildlw.com.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. We have a romantic adventure for a very romantic day. I have author Victoria Van Ransom here with me, author of The Captain's Cook. Hello.
Hello, Bree.
I'm so excited to dive into this. What made you write your first book?
You know, The Captain's Cook it's a true story that shaped every page of the book.
Wow.
And it's really a story about saying yes to a life that's really extraordinary and different. And it's an adventure story, it's a love story, it's a story about becoming, it's a story of courage, it's a story about saying yes to a life that's different and very adventuresome, but also finding the courage to do that. It's a story about becoming, it's a story about learning to live in a completely different world and to discover who you are when everything familiar falls away because the ocean will strip you.
Oh,
it will
really?
strip you. It will strip you. It's an amazing. It's just amazing to have had that life for 7 years. I have 90,000 sea miles now. I never was on a boat before. Suddenly my kitchen, I'm a professional chef, I got hired as the chef on the boat, and suddenly my kitchen was in the middle of the ocean.
So your book is going well beyond food, well beyond sailing, and I can't wait to get into the details of it. But let's go back to you being a professional cook. How did cooking shape your life?
You know, cooking's always been my language. I learned to cook as a young child. My father taught me to cook. The kitchen was a place of refuge from my mother's illness. I watched my dad take really basic ingredients from the garden and turn them into something magical.
Really?
It's the way that I relate to the world. It's the way I make sense of everything. And it's the way I take care of people I care about. But on a boat, food is just not food. That's what I found out. Food becomes, it's morale. It's survival. And I didn't know that. I mean, I found my place on the boat and came to realize how powerful of a position that is, because you go through storms, you go through 19-day passages, and it brings the morale up. Plus, we had a lot of different international crew on the boat. So it was fun to cook their cuisine, introduce it to the other crew members. We had people from Nepal, from Russia, from Philippines, from Sumatra, many different, we had hitchhikers from Australia. And so it really is a way of, I really found out how important my job was on board. And in many ways, that's how I found my power.
Interesting. How did you find yourself on the boat to begin with? Was that something that you had set out to do, to work on a boat, or did it just kind of cross your path? How did that develop?
It's an absurd and crazy story. I had gotten into real estate, a second career. And we all know what happened in 2009. I was, just wanted to do something different with my life. And so when that crashed, I said, I'm going back to cooking. So I went on Craigslist and I saw an ad that said chef needed for 100-foot sailboats sailing to Bora Bora. And I didn't even answer it right away. I said, what is this? And then 100 people applied. I sent my resume. 37 were interviewed, and to my complete horror, I got the job because I'd never been on a boat before.
You had not.
Oh my
Oh
Lord.
my gosh.
And so that's how it happened. I just fearlessly got on that boat. And really, I have to say that the adventure, it really taught me about myself. Like I told you, it strips everything away and you realize who you are. And besides finding my power, I realized like it made me so fearless and resilient.
Wow. There must have been some scary times going through storms and, like you say, 19-day passages. I mean,
There were some rough ones.
I bet.
That were very scary. And there's a part in the book, I think it's chapter 28, about a storm. And actually one of the people on the boat who was just like they were a Polish couple hitchhiking. We were on our way to the Cook Islands. And it was a very bad storm and he was not holding on. And so he ended up, a bone was coming out of his knee. He had a very bad accident on the boat. But we carried a medical kit on the boat that had morphine and everything for such an accident. So it was okay. We reset his leg. I didn't. I'm very squeamish about that stuff. But yeah, there were some dangerous things. And basically coming to realize I'm the type of person, if I do something, I really want to learn how to do it well. And so learning about the boat, like the wind directions, the sails, everything about, because I could die out there, you know what I mean? You really can. And there were people that we met when you're sailing along that route, because you meet the same sailors. And there was one group of sailors that went down in a storm between New Zealand and Australia. Nothing was ever found of their boat. So there's a lot of danger out there.
There is a lot of danger.
So I wanted to know everything. As much as I could.
Absolutely. At what point during this time period did you realize that your life had been changed forever?
A lot of moments like that, but one in particular was we were anchored in a very remote location on a little island called Niue. It's called the Dark Sky Nation, and it's a little dot in the middle of the Cook Islands. And they call it that because at night you can't tell the stars from the sky from their reflection in the water. And the sailor girls on the boat showed me how to climb in the cradle of the mainsail when it's down and lean against the mast and look up at the Southern Cross and the stars. And I think it was at that particular moment that I realized the woman I had been before I got on that boat was gone. My life was different, and it wasn't just in the place I was in, but it was inside of me too, like how much I learned to trust my intuition and, just my place on board and how fearless I had really become. Yeah.
So tell us about the captain's cook.
Oh.
Did it become more than a cook? Or did you become more than a cook?
I did. And
I don't want to give away any secrets. Skim the surface.
It was a long haul getting there. In the book, as you can see, the front of the book is endorsed by Aisha Scott from Below Deck, so there's a lot of drama. But all the intensity I just described, the characters in the book, the captain and his cook, it's a love story, but that's formed within all the intensity that happens on the boat, along with the fact that he kind of thought of himself as an aquatic Hugh Hefner. I didn't like him at all at first. He was a womanizer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Until he finds the right one.
Right. I guess I tamed him. So we had 14 wonderful years together. And we kept traveling. I made it all the way to the Federated Islands of Micronesia. He made me a salty dog, that man. I mean, seriously, I've lived in 24 countries and I've crossed 8 oceans or more, including the South China Sea.
What about the Southern Ocean?
Pardon me?
What about the Southern Ocean? Did you cross that too?
The Pacific, yes. That's how it all started, from Marina del Rey all the way to Fiji.
I want to tell our viewers about your Valentine's Day meet and greet. It's a book signing.
Oh, thank you.
So that takes place actually on Valentine's Day from 2 to 4 p.m. just over here at the Barnes & Noble.
At Barnes & Noble. And bring your book or buy the book and I'll be there to sign it for you. Yes.
I love that. That's great. And then also, you've got a sweepstakes giveaway.
I do. For any of the people watching, and you people in Laguna Woods are known to be very active and adventuresome people. So starting today, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I am giving 3 books away to 3 lucky people in the Laguna Woods area. So be sure and go there and sign up for that.
I love that. That's great. So Anything that you hope readers will take away from this book?
I think that people and my readers, what I'd like them to take away is that you don't have to sail the world to say yes when life knocks on your door to give you an opportunity to grow. It's scary, but that's the one thing I would take away from this is just go for it. Mm-hmm. You never know what's going to happen and it changes you.
And it doesn't matter what age you are either.
No, it does not.
Right? What age were you when you started cooking on the boat?
I was 58 when I got on the boat. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that was your second or third career, right?
It was mostly my second
Mostly
career.
the second.
Well, sailing, yeah, I guess that was my third career. I don't know if I'll do it anymore. I have other friends who have boats now. One of the girls in the book has her own boat and has invited me. So you never know. I got to get back on the boat again. It's a life I really seriously miss. It's like nothing you can imagine. Just the freedom, and you're in the middle of nowhere in this beautiful island with a white sand beach, and there's no one there, and you're anchored, and you go for your morning swim. You have your coffee on the boat. It's something that is just magical.
I was just going to use that word.
Yeah, magical.
Well, okay, Barnes & Noble Meet and Greet Romantic Adventure Novel Book Signing. Taria, thank you so much for being with me today. And your book, I'm going to get myself a copy and have you sign it.
Bree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Abbas. For over 20 years, I've been helping families keep their smiles healthy and bright. 10 years right here in Laguna Woods. At our family-owned practice, we do it all. Preventative care, digital dentistry, and full smile makeovers. With a team you know and trust. Conveniently located at the Taj Mahal Medical Center with shuttle access for our Laguna Woods neighbors. Come experience complete care, old-fashioned service, and state-of-the-art dentistry that feels like home.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. President's Day brings 3 movies. There will be no This Day, that day, February 16th. Instead, Village Television presents special President's Day movies. We're going to start off the day at 8:30 a.m. with My Sister Eileen, starring Jack Lemmon. And then midday at 12 p.m., we're showing I'll See You in My Dreams, starring Doris Day. And then at 5 p.m., we'll round out the day with California's Gold in Anaheim, California, with Hugh Hauser, only on Village Television. Again, no This Day. Instead, we'll be showing you those fabulous movies. Tomorrow on This Day, we have Pacific Financial Planners with Jerry Schlutzowitz and the Democrat Club with Janine Lepowski. So I look forward to seeing all of you right back here tomorrow. That's going to do it for this episode of This Day. From all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one.